Welcome back to Chatting with the Comic Community, the show where we take people from this amazing community, bring them on here, get to know them a little bit, get to know how they got into comic collecting, how they nerd out about certain things in this comic community. And I'm super excited for this guest today. Before that, I gotta shout out my channel members. First off, we got Beckerman, Legion of Comics, Sector 2815, DJ Links, Brian LCS, Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, Papa Wheelie, Son of a Bruce, Comic Journey, Cliff on Comics, 23 Monch, Biggie Shack, Tate Prime, Ryan Riley, Scott Z70, Billy Powermax, Dr. Von Hoot, Norin Rad, Still Only 35 Cents, Ben Compton, Las Crucias, Chop and Drop, Nick's Kicks and Comics, Philtastic Comics and Art, G-Man, Tyler, Comiverse, Christina Payne, Pocan Joe, Circumstances, Electrobolt 7, Pop in Comics 82. Sorry about that. Spidey Guy Murph, Southern Comic Geek, Cardboard Crazies, SCA, Meatwad Number 1, Egu Rhythm, Durs, Dagger Cards, Wellbore, Taylor Winder, Hulk Collector, Black Crown Comics, L Green Machine, Rolando Flores, Not Near Mint, The Comic Vet, Izzyverse NYC, Trevor W, Nick Klex, N Gaming, Actual Dracula, Madame, Brother John, Arcade Pop, Space Case Cards, and Lord Cuck Simp. Thank you so much for being members. I truly appreciate you guys. If you'd like to become a member too, you can become a member for only 99 cents, which gives you a special icon beside your name, unlocks special emojis in the chat where I have Animal Man, Stargirl, a bunch of Predacon, and Maximal emojis that you can put in the chat in the live stream. Also, it gives you early access to chatting with the comic community, this show right here, because some channel members are watching this early before it even drops on the channel. And then it also gives you access to an IG chat. But you can also support the channel by just leaving a like, commenting down below, subscribing if you're not already. It does go a long way. That being said, let's bring out our guest. This guest is a long overdue. We had couple of times where I had to reschedule and then I took some time off, so I wasn't able to get this guy on, and I'm super excited to get this guy on because he's a huge positivity in this community. He does a lot of great things with his kids. So without further ado, let's bring out Dale of Suspense.
That's a jam, man. How's it going?
It is going good, my friend. Thank you so much for joining. Like I said, it was long overdue. We had a schedule a long time ago. Things fell through due to me having to reschedule, and then I took some time off from chatting with the comic community. But we are here today, and finally, to sit down with Dale of Suspense. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Travis. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's been we've been trying to get on this for like over a year almost. Well, since last year for sure.
Yeah, I did
early part last year.
Yeah, I think it was even before you were on Between the Lines, and that was last Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Dang, and that's
so
two Christmases ago.
Right. All right. So for the viewers at home that don't know a lot about you, give them a little rundown of who you are.
Well, I'm big. So yeah, I'm Dale. I have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to collecting things, comic books, Lego, art prints, all that sort of stuff, and just unboxings. And I don't do any spec talk or anything like that. So it's just to have fun and show my kids that anybody can be on YouTube.
That's awesome. So I always start off with this question, and it's how you got into comic collecting / reading?
Yeah, it's a good question. I got into collecting long time ago when I used to live in Germany, because that's where I'm originally from. But my mom, she would always hook me up with like knick-knack type stuff. It all really kind of started with I don't know if you have heard of Kinder eggs, or I forget what they're called here in the United States, but they're little chocolate eggs with a yellow little capsule inside of them that has like a toy that you either put together or like a little figurine. So when I was much younger, that's what I used to collect. And then it transpired into trading cards, And then from trading cards, I got into like GI Joe and action figures, Ninja Turtles, and then it got into comic books and more trading cards, and now it's ballooned into comic books, graded comic books, art prints, Hot Wheels, all sorts of stuff. It's just yeah, it's like ADHD
Legos.
in collect. Yeah, Lego exactly. Yeah, I've got unopened boxes of Lego here that I still need to build, and yeah, it's crazy. My wife would
That's
probably
all.
agree that it's a little absurd, but she has her own collections of things as well. So
That's fair. So what stories really got you into the comics? Like, was it more Marvel side or DC side or a little bit of both?
mostly Marvel. Uh, back in like the early '90s, Superman, the death of Superman, and all that. That kind of really got me into reading a little bit of Superman. I I'll be completely honest with you. Back in the day, I was more into the art aspect of collecting because I dabble in the arts myself, and that's where I got a lot of my ideas. So, like the Jim Lee era of art, X Men. Yeah, that's really what got me into it.
That's fair. That is definitely fair. What would you say would be the best story that you read? Like, I know you said that you were into the art, but there was a lot of great stories back then too. What was the story that really took you and been like, "Oh wow, this is what comics are doing?"
Back then, uh, I have a hard time remembering things, but definitely the X Men series, and then Ninja Turtles. I was really big into the Ninja Turtles. So, but recently, I know it's a couple of years old now, but Geiger really like was just such a great storytelling, and I need to get into the reading of the new stuff that just dropped from the what is it? Not the Geiger verse, but
Ghost
um,
Machine.
Ghost Machine. That's it. Thank you. But it's a little slow on readings and stuff. I'm stacking books right now, like the GI Joe that relaunched, and Cobra Commander and Duke. I read the first couple issues, but yeah, it's collecting right now is kind of taking a little breather, but I'm still around.
That's definitely fair. Did you read like as being a huge G.I. Joe fan? Did you read any of the older comics growing up, or was it just the newer stuff that's coming out?
The older stuff. So that's one of my goals right now. My collecting goals is to complete the Marvel run of GI Joe is what I'm trying to complete. I am eight, 8 or 9 books away from completing that run. So one of this Christmas, last Christmas, my wife got me uh, GI Joe number 155 and a CGC 9.6, and I'm like through the roof on that one. So, but yeah, I read those sporadically. So I still have the ones that I picked up from the newsstands and such from when I was a kid in the '90s and early '80s. So yeah, I read them. I probably reread them again. I kind of want to do this whole read from one all the way to 155 kind of deal. I might just start on that because I have like pretty much 1 through 140 complete. It's the later issues that I have to get that are a little more scarce.
Right on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I have not read any of the older GI Joe books. I wasn't that big into GI Joe. I was more into, of course, Beast Wars. But
yeah.
I'm liking that that's getting a resurgence. I know that they're trying to get Thundercats out there too, but Thundercats isn't doing that good,
Hmm.
considering compared to GI Joe and Transformers. But um, I've been hearing a lot of people trying to go back and get those collections, which is kind of cool. It's the GI Joe
Yeah.
collections. I know Mark was trying to get the Transformers, all of the older
Hmm.
Transformers books. So
Yeah,
it's pretty
that's kind of
cool.
my next. That's my next goal. Probably is Transformers. That first run. I've got the important
Yeah,
one, number one, so I'm good there.
yeah, that's the hardest one to get, or the probably the most expensive one to get, I would say.
Probably. Yeah, definitely.
So let's move gears here, and now we don't just talk comics here. We talk about everything that you nerd out about. And you mentioned Legos earlier, and I
Yes.
haven't really talked to anybody about Legos that much on the show. I did have John's Comics with Kids on and Raging Cajun, but that was way before they were getting into Legos. So I want to know
Hmm.
how you got into Legos and what's your favorite Lego set.
Wow. How did I get into Lego? So Lego was a staple for me when I was just a kid, right? So I remember building Lego in the back of my mom's vehicle or my dad's vehicle while we're going on like road trips and stuff. So, and a lot of those sets I have still because my parents kept all those in a big tote under their house. And one year I went under their house just to check and see what was under there. And lo and behold, there was a box of Lego completely dismantled, of course, but I remembered each little individual piece and like kind of what they went to. So I went online and found build instructions, and some of the sets that I had when I was a kid are about 90, 95% complete. And I still have those. They're all here now. I have them in my possession. And they're under my house, unfortunately, but because I have zero space for all the sets that I have. Um, but my favorite set, I would have to say, it was this series called Space Police, and it was just that. It was like a police unit in space, and it had various sets and little aliens with like different headpieces and such. And I got, I would say, 90% of the series complete. Um, and yeah, that was stuff that I started collecting when I was much, much older, when you have adult money and you were able to buy the sort of stuff. But now I collect the like a lot of the Marvel and comic book type series sets and Darth Vader and Star Wars. Um, yeah, and my kids are into it. So my passion for Lego transpired over to them. And yeah, they're monsters like I was. So
And it's good too, because like you get to experience, like you get to have family time, and you get to like spend
right.
time with your kids while doing the thing you love with the people you love. So it's
Yeah,
great.
exactly. That's what birthed my YouTube channel was a Lego set. It was a stop motion Lego video that I created for the first my first video is a stop motion Lego video build, and it was just so I can show my kids, hey, because they watched a lot of YouTube and people building Lego and all that sort of stuff, and I was like, you know what, I can do that, psh, no problem. So well, yeah, I did a Lego stop motion, put it into like this little video creator, and uploaded it, and that was my first YouTube video.
So how long? Because I've never really talked to anybody. I know that it's time consuming to do stop motion and that. I've never really asked the question. How long did it take you to do that video?
Considering it was a smaller build, it was only I don't think it was even over 150 pieces or anything like that, but the big thing to remember is where you had it placed the before you put the next part on, and if you're going to do like the movement of arms, and depending on how fluid you want it to look, the more photos you need. But I would say it took me maybe about 2 hours or so to do that video.
And how long is the video?
30 seconds.
Oof,
Yeah, I think it's
that's
30
a
seconds.
that's a
Yeah,
lot of time for a 30-second video, but you still had fun doing it, and it was a good
exactly.
experience for the kids and that. So now,
Yep.
since we're on the topic of your YouTube channel, uh, kind of gave us a little rundown of how you got it started. You want to show your kids that you can do it. Um, After that single video, what made you be like, you know what, I'm going to continue this on, and I'm going to do unboxings. I'm going to do things with my kids. What transpired that?
What transpired that was because I enjoyed watching that sort of stuff on YouTube. Again, it happened during the like the pandemic, the onset of the pandemic and such, and it was just something else to do in the house. Um, but I felt it was kind of cool to just showcase the type of things that I collect because everybody collects differently, and who knows that maybe something or somebody might see something that I collect and they're like, "Oh, I've never witnessed that before or seen that before," and that's maybe something I want to go out and get. Kind of just help inspire. the people, the community, and yeah, and it just kind of blossomed from there, and then hanging out in live chats and such, and coming on lives like this and chatting it up with fellow-minded individuals, and it's just you kind of get friends that you didn't know you needed, you know.
As true. Um, you find a lot of people in this community that just like-minded individuals, like you said, and
Hmm.
that you have to connect with, talk to certain things. Like I, huge Stargirl fan. As the time of recording this, uh, it didn't happen. Like this is recorded on February 17th. So this happened like the day before, where I met somebody that was like a huge Stargirl fan, just like me, and was showing me a bunch of Stargirl comics that he had. And I was just
Nice.
like, oh, did we just become best friends? Yes, we did.
Exactly.
So you never
Yeah.
know when you're gonna find those type of people.
Right. Like I like Scotty Young covers and such, you know, and then because I posted a lot of Scotty Young, and then other people posted Scotty Young pictures or hashtags and such, and you just find common people, like Geek Out with Roscoe, your partner. He loves Scotty Young too, you know, and I'm so jealous that he got to meet him yet last year in Heroes Con. But you know, it's just I love seeing what other people have, and it kind of helps build my hit list of comics. Right? I'm like, oh, I need that in my collection, you know. So and yeah,
Your hit list, eh? I hope I'm
yeah,
not on your hit
I
list.
no, it's a hit list of comics. No, I don't have one of those lists. Everybody's been pretty nice to me, so
Yeah, a lot of people are pretty decent people in this community, so there's not too
yeah,
many bad eggs. You find a few, but you just avoid them.
yeah, exactly. You just hit that unsubscribe button on those jokers or unfollow or whatever, and you don't have to deal with them ever again.
So, what is it that you collect besides comics, Lego? You did say that you're getting into art pieces. How did
Hmm.
that happen? And what are some of the favorites that you have gotten? And have you been hanging around Beckerman that you're getting all these art pieces?
Well, they're not original art pieces. I would love to get original art pieces, but I do collect some art prints. I do have some original art, but like I don't know. I just I like I like good art, and what's good to me may not be good to other people because it's completely subjective. But I've got a couple pieces from Geek Out with Roscoe. I've got just there's a lot of I'd like to say that my art likes are a little eclectic. So like one of my friends here in Colorado Springs, he's an artist and he is his name's Yeti Slang. Shout out Yeti Slang. He's one of my channel sponsors. But he does like this abstract, just really funky, like what nightmares are made of kind of art. And I just love it. It's different. It's something completely different, completely out of the norm. Um, so he did a Venom piece for me, and that one is probably one of my favorites in my collection. But I like Art Germ. You see the Supergirl back there. That's a signed art print that I had framed, and I've got several other Art Germ pieces. J. Scott Campbell. I like picking up random things too, like this Transformers one of Optimus Prime
Oh,
that I keep
nice.
on my wall. They were handing this out during the opening of Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, so I had to pick that
There,
up because it's just awesome.
that is fantastic. Had no idea that they were giving that out during Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, I understand that a lot of different movie theaters had different things, but to give out on opening night. But another one of my favorites is Clayton Crane. I love any of his stuff. I've got a small original piece of his, and Legal Burning. I'm sure you've heard of Legal Burning, where he burns the cover. I've got some of those up here. Sorry for the glare, but let's see.
Oh no, that's all right. It happens. It happens.
So this is one of my favorite pieces. Got that
Nice.
from the missus. So Nice homage to Tales of Suspense 39, which I do not own yet. But
Yes, that is definitely a goal for yourself. Being a
yes,
huge Iron Man fan.
absolutely. Yes, I am definitely an Iron Man fan. I've got the Arc Reactor, Hot Toys. Yeah, I dabble in a little bit of everything, my friend.
So I do have to ask, would you be or pro or against Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Iron Man?
Um, Define coming back, like a full on acting, like they just redo everything, or is he the
Um,
new AI in the helmet or something? You know what I mean?
that's a good question too. I would say like because I know that they said that it's going to be he's going to show up as an AI and a robot, just his voice.
Yeah,
But I'm talking about him coming back fully as Iron Man.
it would be cool to
It's like
see. I definitely, I think that he certainly personifies Tony Stark and Iron Man in the movies. I'm not sure who else could play that role as well as him, but yeah, I mean, bring him on. Maybe he's from another universe or something, another dimension or something like that. But if he stays dead, that's fine too. Let it be. That's what I say.
because I don't.
Let it be.
I'm not sure anybody like even if they rebooted the universe, I'm not sure anybody could ever become Iron Man like Robert Downey Jr. did.
I would agree.
I don't think
I
it's
would agree with
possible.
that. I don't think so either.
So
Same with Thor, Chris Hemsworth. I think he is definitely Thor. Like just pre Ragnarok Thor, or Ragnarok wasn't terrible, but wasn't the greatest either. But like kick ass Thor.
yeah, I feel like they don't know what to do with Thor. Like Thor one was good. Thor: The Dark World was probably one of the worst MCU movies, and then like it just continued. Like there was a thing where Taika Waititi came in and it's like, well, Marvel came to me, and I thought they were just pulling from straws. They had nowhere else to go. That's why they chose me, and I
Right.
kind of agree with that because of the fact that they didn't do so well with Dark World. It's only the Russo brothers that did a really good job with him
Yeah, I would agree.
in the
And he
Avengers
did really
movies
well
and
in
stuff.
Endgame. Endgame was good.
Yeah.
Like short
So it's
hair,
just
jacked
who
up
you're
Stan
going to
Lee haircut.
use to, yeah, who you're going to use to direct Thor. And it has to be somebody that knows the character and doesn't do their own little spin on things. Like directors that have their way of doing things. Taika Waititi is one of those.
Hmm.
There's a few others I can't think of right at the top of my head, but
Yeah, I'm
it's just
terrible with
get a
names.
director that knows them. Um, but yeah, is there any other goals that you want to get? Like you said, you want to get the first appearance of Iron Man. What are those certain
Hmm.
keys that you want to get your hands on that are part of your goals?
Just definitely Tales of Suspense, 39. Um, I wouldn't mind having 40 and 41 just to kind of go with those. I wouldn't mind the first appearance of X-23. She's probably one of my favorite mutant characters, just because it's very savage. You know, I like savage type characters that are raw and gritty. Um, there's a What If Venom Possessed Deadpool, the Scotty Young cover that he did, that side profile, which just was homaged by another artist, that online retailer. Can I say the name? Big Time
Yeah,
Collectibles. Cool.
yeah,
That
big
Big Time
time.
Collectible. Yep, they're selling an homage of What If Venom Possessed Loki, and that's super dope. And you know, I all these covers and stuff that come out, or all these books that I would like to have. It's just all I see is dollar signs, and I just got to figure out what to do to be able to do all that sort of stuff. Because obviously, I have my family that I need to take care of first. So, but I'm
Yeah,
thinking of really
priorities.
downsizing my collection. And
I
really
actually
kind
just
of
recently did that.
have like a tunnel vision approach of what I want to collect. So,
Yeah, it's not bad because like you do. I did the same thing. I found myself collecting a lot more than I wanted, and then space
Mhm.
became an issue. And then you're just like, do I really need this in my collection? And you're like, I don't. I don't really need this in my collection, and I don't. Then you kind of like reevaluate, and you're just like, yeah, this is what I want in my collection. I can get rid of the rest,
Yeah.
and
I
I
just
agree
have a
with
hard
you. You
time
get
letting
that
go.
tunnel vision. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a hard thing too.
Yeah. Because I have been collecting for a long time, and I try to let go of things and to fund the hobby. Obviously, I just need to really buckle down and do it even better. Stop buying stuff. But I win a lot of things too, so that kind of is like a not a drug
Sucks winning
necessarily,
things,
but
right?
I mean, it does. Yeah, absolutely. You just get more and more stuff.
You're just like, I don't really need this. Why did I put my name in the draw?
Right, like a graded VHS tape. It's like I didn't need that, but so
That's
I
actually
guess
pretty cool. Not gonna lie,
oh,
I do I oh yes, and it's one of the
right,
best movies. Yeah,
exactly. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies. It was during the Christmas holiday, 12 Days of Christmas, that CGC Home Video did, and CGC did last Christmas. And
yeah.
sure enough, I won it. And I mean, it's super cool the way the packaging is. I like it. Which then
I
sparks me to think like, oh man, my parents, they have totes upon totes of VHS tapes, and some of them are unopened. Should I go over there and like take them and grade them and sell them? And it's like,
I'm not even
there's so
sure how
much.
they would how the grading process would work for VHSs.
No
Um,
clue.
like I know they get dinged up for falling on the ground and stuff, and you'd have to probably have a perfect case.
Right.
Um, but other than that, I don't know. And
I get
if they are sealed, just like how comics are sealed, and like, do they open up that seal to do the grade?
no, they don't. This is sealed. So this has
Okay.
the original wrapping on it. So this video, I'm assuming, has never been played. It still has the Walt Disney sticker on there, and it denotes that
Oh
on
wow.
the sorry, on the label. It says the Santa Claus VHS Walt Disney Home Video slipcase and $10 savings sticker and black Walt Disney Home Video logo sticker on there. And yeah, sealed, and it says sealed.
That is
Kind
so
of
weird. Like,
yeah,
so it's sealed, but yet it's 9 too.
right. So maybe because it's like discolored a little bit, maybe I don't know. I might have to look at the grader's notes
Yeah, because I
if
still
the
don't understand that how they can grade it without unpackaging and getting a closer view on it. Because you get that
right.
glare, you get that little unable to uh see it because of that glare, because that ripple of the plastic and that it would definitely be hard to see.
Yeah.
And that's why I figured they'd always have to, because I guess you could still see the book or see the VHS, but in a comic you can't see what's in the plastic for it. That's why they
Exactly.
have to take it out.
Yeah.
But I guess it could have got dinged up too, because like even though it's in the plastic, it could have fallen on the ground or. But that's
Mhm.
super cool that you won that. I remember when they were doing that drawing, and I thought that
Mhm.
was so cool. But that's
Yeah.
one more thing that you're just like, huh, should I send these all off? And it's going to cost a
Exactly.
bunch of money just for. That's the other issue with CGC slabs is they take up a lot of space
Yes.
rather than comic books
Yes.
unless you get a box for those graded comics. But you want when you grade comics, you want to display them. You don't want to have them in a box.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
I've got maybe a third of mine displayed. I've got 3 shelves, and like 3 of them on each. Yeah, a little bit more than 3 shelves, but yeah, I like them. It's fun. They're
so,
conversation pieces. Oh, you're
so
muted.
s- yeah. Speaking of X-23,
Yes.
since her first appearance was in the X-Men Evolution show, which I absolutely loved growing up, and that. I want to know some of your favorite cartoons growing up, whether they be common ones that everybody knows or some unique ones that people would kind of turn their head and be like, "Never heard of that show. Tell me more."
Yeah. So growing up in Germany, I was really fond of Lucky Luke. I don't know if you've ever heard of Lucky Luke, but he's like this cowboy with his talking horse and stuff, and there'd be this band of brothers of robbers, and they just go at it. And I've got several of those comic books as well. They're like trade paperbacks, and they're in German. And so Lucky Luke is one of my favorites back in the day. Let's see, GI Joe, obviously, Silverhawks, Thundercats, um, Transformers, Snorks, Smurfs, Heathcliff, Garfield. There's so many. I loved cartoons. Um, yeah, cartoons were the jam back in the day. Waking up Saturday morning, bowl of cereal, sitting in front of the TV. A lot of stuff that I
Yeah,
don't think my kids really can grasp. Waiting all week just to watch cartoons versus nowadays you have cartoons at your disposal at any time.
pretty much anytime actually. Like, yeah, because
Anytime.
we live in the streaming world, so you can go watch
Hmm.
whatever. Um, did you ever? So I've been looking online and that, and I found this channel called Rinse and Repeat, and they put out all of the old cartoons. Sometimes I
Nice.
watch that. It it's not monetized because they can't. So there's no ads or anything on those
Oh
videos,
wow.
so you can watch it without worry. The only problem is they don't have like timestamps. It's like, oh, you're gonna watch this show. No, it's all random.
Hmm.
So it kind of like you could just wake up Saturday morning and be like, put it on, and it feel just like you were a
Nice.
kid again.
Heck yeah.
Um,
That you said it's called rinse and repeat?
rinse, repeat. I don't think it's rinse
Rinse,
and
repeat?
repeat. It's rinse, repeat. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. See, I'd like the old Looney Tune or not comics, cartoons as well. So like Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all them and Looney Tunes, Tiny Tunes. Those are all
Tiny
the
Toons are great. Now,
Tiny
have you
Tunes.
watched the? I haven't watched the new ones. I know it's all new voice cast and that, but it's Tiny Toons Luniversity.
Haven't watched that.
No, or the new Animaniacs. I know that they
Haven't
recently came out with those,
I haven't
but
watched any of the new releases like that. No.
no. All right. I've watched a little bit of the Animaniacs. It's kind of the same, a little bit less political, and then some certain characters are not in it, like Hello Nurse. But
Of
that's
course.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but other than that, I enjoyed it for what it was. And I had a good
Hmm.
time watching it. I know a lot of people did not enjoy it because they're just like, oh no, they're they're changing things around. They're scared to be pushed to the limits like they did back in the 90s. And it's like, yeah, of course
Yeah.
they are. They don't want to
Yeah.
be canceled right away. They want to be
Exactly.
actually be able to have a following. And I think it lasted about 3 seasons. So
Hmm.
it's definitely worth going to check out, especially with your kids.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. Rinse, repeat.
Rinse, repeat.
Rinse, repeat.
So you grew up in Germany
Yes.
and you have kind of alter ego that comes out sometimes
Yeah.
called Sven. I,
Yes.
I know a lot of people, myself included, love Sven. How did that become? And do you like portraying that character? Do you have so much fun with that character that you portray it, or just randomly when you're at a store, you just Sven comes out?
Yes. So Sven is completely random. Let's see. His character came about one day in the kitchen. I was making dough for some crepes, and I had bubble wrap on my head. I had my wife's scarf around my neck, and I just did that accent and doing all the ingredients and all that sort of stuff, and just it just happened out of chance. So the voice is, I joke with people. I say, English is my second language. So even last night, I was watching a show on Netflix, and the individual has a strong Austrian accent, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And so I was talking like him and then talking like Sven. And I was telling my kids, what if my American accent is just fake, but I really sound like Sven or Arnold? And they looked at me like I was crazy. And that's the reaction that I like to get out of my family. So that's how Sven was born, is just being completely and utterly obnoxious. And then one time, my I think it was my oldest daughter, she was like, Sven needs to do something on YouTube. And there was a wig, and I put the wig on, I put a snow cap on, and yeah, Sven was on YouTube. So
Yeah, be there
yeah,
forever.
he will be there. He has been immortalized, yes. And I find it funny because I feel like, as Dale, I'm a pretty just boring kind of guy. But then when that persona comes on, I'm crazy and just silly and a little dumb, maybe not as bright. So I've been told that it takes a genius to act stupid. So there you have it. I enjoy being stupid.
So also, was there a time like you were at a grocery store or just somewhere, and then just a little bit of spend came out during like interaction?
Absolutely. Drive-throughs, like going to restaurant drive-throughs or whatever. Sven will come out sometimes, and yeah, going to the grocery store, um, chasing my kids or something in the grocery store, and just being silly, trying to get that awe, that shock and awe type factor, with my kids, and try to embarrass them in public.
I think you'd get more of the shock and awe from the people that you're doing it to. They're just like, "What? What's going on here?"
Yeah, I do it at work. People at my work, my coworkers think I'm super weird. And one of my coworkers, he doesn't work there anymore, but oh, excuse me, he he has a YouTube channel as well, but he does cooking, so he does like recipes and all that sort of stuff. And I went on to his channel, did a live on his channel, and as Sven, making a typical German meal, as Sven, and it was a success. I had my
So,
apron with the German flag on it and stuff, and yeah.
do you celebrate any German holidays or traditions in your house?
Yeah. So we celebrate, obviously Christmas is on December 25th. And growing up, German, my wife is also half German. Her mom's German, my mom's German. They were friends before we met. And then we celebrate Christmas on Christmas Eve. So we have a Christmas Eve dinner, and then we open gifts. And then the spirit of the Holy Child spirit comes and delivers gifts. Santa Claus delivers gifts, and then they open presents on Saturday, or not Saturday, the Christmas Day morning. We do the whole Advent thing in December, every Sunday before the 4 Sundays before Christmas. Yeah,
No, you don't.
almonds.
Kramp Krampus is not is that that's part of German, isn't it?
Um, I'm not so sure about Krampus. I try not to celebrate Krampus because it's kind of scary, and I don't like
Yeah, that's
scary
true.
things. I don't watch scary movies hardly, and I don't like scaring people. So especially my
You're
kids.
more of that. You like to make them feel a little bit weirded out though, and you like to
Yeah.
cause people to laugh more
Yes.
so than scare them. So
Absolutely.
Halloween is definitely not your favorite holiday.
Halloween is not my favorite holiday. Now, long story, but uh, I always joke that I will dress up as an overprotective dad on Halloween, which is just me dressed up to stay warm because it usually snows. Um, but yeah, I don't. There's something about people trying to scare other people, and my profession. I don't care for people with knives, guns, all that sort of stuff, and it's not it's not a good time for me. My spidey senses go off, and it just gives people an excuse to act like an idiot and try to hurt people, and I don't dig that.
That's true. Like there is a lot of those prank videos out there now. Now that people actually scaring people, and then the person actually beat the crap out of them because,
Right.
well, yeah, the people are taking it way too far with these kind of prank videos a
Exactly.
little bit. So they get what they deserve if they get beaten up. So
Yep. Yep. Yeah, there was a scary one once one year for Halloween. There was a guy in a mask and coveralls and a knife. I didn't know if it was real or fake or whatever, and he's just standing in the middle of the street watching me and my kids. It's like, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna tango? Are we gonna, you know? Because yeah, my family is everything, and I do what I need to do to protect them.
I'm right there with you though on not being a fan of horror. Like I'm not a fan of the gore horror, like the
Mm-mm.
all of that. I do watch some horror, like psychological horror, and that sometimes, like a good mystery is all right.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
but other than that, watching people getting brutally murdered, not my thing. Not my thing. I'd
No.
rather watch a comedy or
Yes.
even action movies are all right sometimes. They're not like, oh, we're gonna beat this guy up or kill this guy. It's like no, it's like cool action scenes and
Right.
cool explosion scenes rather than people dying. So I get you on that point,
Yep. I'm a
especially with
firm. I'm a firm believer that garbage in, garbage out. If you consume that sort of stuff, then that's what you're going to project out. Um, so yeah, I like watching comedy, action, um, sometimes like romance movies or whatever if the wife wants to watch it. But yeah, cartoons. I love cartoons.
cartoons are the best. So I actually now since we're on the topic of cartoons, I know we talked about little older cartoons, but is there any current cartoons that you're absolutely loving? Because of course you have kids, you're probably watching cartoons with them, the cartoons that they're watching. Is there some that you picked up on that you absolutely love?
So my youngest, he's really big into Lego Ninjago, that cartoon. So Lego show. I've been watching that with him, and that one's pretty good. I enjoy it. Um, what else do I like? I like a lot of the Pixar type stuff too. Not very recently, but a couple of years back, that Voltron on Netflix was released, the remake of Voltron, and I thought that was a really excellent show.
I heard a couple of people talking about that a few days ago, saying that they absolutely loved Voltron on Netflix. I never
Yeah.
heard anybody talking about it until recently.
hmm Yeah, it's really good. It has a lot of the same action type sequences and art style as the original one. But yeah, super awesome. The great story, it flows. Yeah, that one is good. If you get a chance, check it out. I tried watching the
Uh,
new He-Man stuff. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Not a fan. Not even like I know there's people that liked it, that liked the new one, and then people that
Yeah.
absolutely hated it that liked the new one. Have you checked out the new one, The Revolution?
Is it Revolution that's the new one? Or was it
Uh yeah, because Revelation Part One and Part Two
Revelation?
came out a while
Okay.
ago, and then Revolution is this one.
Okay. Yeah, I started watching Revolution and I shut it off. I just wasn't a fan. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It didn't capture my attention. But maybe I'll try again when I'm 50 or something.
And I haven't admitted this, and I'll admit it now. I have not watched it all the way through because I can't grip to it. Like you said,
Right. Exactly.
I watched a couple episodes and I'm trying. I want to go back and watch it, but it isn't gripping me. Like I know a lot of people hated on Revelation. That gripped me. Like that pulled me in, and I watched it completely, and that without hesitation, without having to force myself to go watch it. Revolution's a whole different story, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Maybe it is the timing too, because when Revelation came out, that was during the time of pandemic, and there was not a lot of stuff on.
right.
Now there's a lot of stuff on that I could be like, oh, you know what? I'm instead of this, I'm gonna go watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith instead.
I started
Great
watching that
series.
too. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's it's a little slow. It's a slow burn, but the action sequences
I,
and stuff are pretty good.
I feel like the first episode's the hardest to get through, the slowest one to get
Yep,
through, and then after that, it kind of picks up more and more as the series progresses.
yep, agreed.
Speaking of series, you said Mr. and Mrs. Smith is one of them. What are some of the shows, live action shows that you grew up with or that you watch now that you absolutely love, and you want to share it with the world?
There's quite a few. When I was a kid, one of my big favorite shows was the A Team with Mr. T. That was an excellent show. Yeah, I might be dating myself, but
Pitiful.
I don't care. I'm 45 years old and I'm still a kid, you know. Let's see. Nowadays, I'm a big fan of Reacher. That's a great show. Jack Ryan, great show. The Night Agent, that was a really great show. And you might think that there's a theme here, and there really is. I like shows that kind of have to think and try to guess what's going to happen and all that. And I'm a fan of firearms, so I watch people and how they manipulate their guns. And like John Wick, that's a little over the top, but he trained really hard for that role. So yeah, I enjoy those kind of shows. I'm sad that Reacher is over. Season 2 is over already. Uh, but yeah, I'm a big fan of those kind of
Well, we are
CIA,
getting
FBI, SWAT. SWAT's one of my favorite movies. Yeah, it's good stuff.
we are getting a season 3 of Jack Reacher, which is or not
Yes.
Reacher, Jack Reacher, but Reacher.
Yeah.
So which is exciting. He plays that perfectly. I know a lot of people are just some people are just like, his acting is stiff in everything he does and that, but he's good in this. And um,
I started reading a book, a Reacher book, and I when I'm reading that, I imagine what's his name, Chris something, whatever, the guy that plays Reacher in the
oh,
show.
Alan
I
Richardson.
That's it. Um, I imagine I see him playing that role in the book. So yeah,
Now
he does good.
you don't
I think he
picture
does really
Tom
well.
Cruise.
No, no, Tom
That's a
Cruise is
big
not
jump.
that. It really is. It's like night and day. It's like Tom and Jerry, you know.
And it's funny too because Alan Richardson almost didn't get the role because he was too short. Could you think about
Really,
that for a second? Yeah, they wanted to get it like he said it on the Michael Rosenbaum podcast, where I think it was like he's 6'3", like Alan Richardson 6'3", and um, Reacher is 6'5",
yeah,
maybe
6'5",
in the
6'6",
books.
I think. Yeah, yep.
And yeah, almost didn't. They wanted to get it to that exact. They wanted to be as close to the books as possible. And I'm just thinking, like, you guys made a Jack Reacher movie with Tom Cruise, one of the shortest actors.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's hilarious. I have not. I've yet. I do like John Krasinski. I've yet to watch Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan is excellent. Really, really good.
Definitely have to watch that. And the funny thing is, you must be a Prime guy. Watching a lot of stuff on Prime because of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Jack Ryan,
Yeah.
Reacher.
Yep.
Uh, what was the other one you said? Midnight
The Night Agent.
Night Agent. That's right.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Now,
I'm not
is
sure
there
if that's
any?
on Prime or not.
Yeah, I'll have to look that up. What's it? Like, give me a little rundown of what's it about?
So the Night Agent is a position within, I think it's the FBI, where they sit in this room like a skiff, I don't know. Do you know what a skiff is? It's like where you can't have your own cell phone or something like that. And they sit by this phone and they wait until agents call in for assistance on this phone, and then that line stays open. And well, the plot is that someone is offing FBI agents, like secret agents, and somebody else calls on that line, and then he has to try to find that individual and protect her, and it becomes this whole conspiracy theory type thing, and it's pretty good action, and the actor, I don't know his name, but he does pretty well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know
So,
how like legit that is, if there really is something like that. I would assume there probably is, but never know.
so yeah, I'd say yeah, you're definitely into like the whole mystery action type of deal. Like I do like those too. All right, so switching gears here, going back to your YouTube channel, and
Hmm.
that you what you do with your kids, you strictly do unboxings, and that a little fun stuff like creations with kind of Lego builds. Do you do some
Lego
of those with
builds.
your kids?
Yep.
So have you ever
So
thought of actually doing that stop motion again, or have you done it since?
I have not done it since. It's something that I've been thinking about doing, especially if they're like smaller sets. Uh, I think the last one I did was an Iron Man mech type suit, so which was fun because then you can see like the progression of it and the little minifigures walking around and such. But I have a smaller set. It's a Darth Vader set that I got for Christmas. So it's a mech suit where Darth Vader can sit in it. Yeah.
Nice.
So maybe I'll do that
Yes.
just for you, Travis.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, is there
But
anything else planned on your channel besides that possibly coming?
mm, my kids are also really big into like Pokemon cards and stuff. So I was thinking of maybe doing some more Pokemon pack rips for shorts content. Um, and then I have an idea of something that's kind of bouncing around in my brain, and I just need to figure out a way to execute it. It's going to be another alter ego. Um, yeah, I just have to figure it out. I'll talk to you about it offline because I don't want to say anything publicly yet, but I think it's going to be fun. And then I have a Batman costume that's another one of my alter egos, kind of is Batman, and I want to kind of do like a Batman, but have it be Marvel trivia with Batman, like a Jeopardy type thing. Maybe have it be like a game show where I have guests on the show. But I have all
I'd
these
be
ideas. I just
you just I feel you. I definitely feel you when you say it's you have all these ideas, but you don't know how to execute them the way
right,
that you want to do them. Um,
exactly.
I like that Jeopardy idea though. Having Batman asking Marvel questions.
Yes.
I'd be terrible at that because I wouldn't get any Marvel questions. But I do like that. I know Cliff right now does his crisis trivia, and it's kind of like
Hmm.
Jeopardy in a way, but the way that you're going to do it is totally different. But everybody has their own ways of doing trivia in this community. It's not
Right.
like Cliff thought of the Jeopardy thing first. I'm pretty sure Jeopardy thought of Jeopardy thing first.
Right.
So I think you're safe. I think you're
Yeah.
definitely safe. I really think you should do that most definitely. And I would be a guest on that show for sure.
Okay. I'll remember that. Maybe you'll be one of my first ones.
I won't get any of them right. And I'm definitely sure, like, if you put the word out there, a lot of people would come together and be like, you know what? Yeah, let's go support Dale. Let's go be on his show. And let's go have some fun on his show.
Yeah, for
Because you
sure.
haven't really been putting out that much as of recently. And I do miss seeing
Yeah.
your videos come out.
Yeah. Lately, it's life happens, So I have to. I have to do my life stuff first.
Most definitely.
The YouTube stuff is just it's a secondary, it's fun, it's a hobby, right? But when life happens, you gotta tackle that stuff first.
Yeah, that's why I stepped away a few times from YouTube, and that's why it took a year for you to come on this show.
Yeah.
It's because like
But I'm
I think
okay.
you're
I'm
my
okay. I don't want people thinking that I'm not okay, but I'm okay.
no. It's just sometimes life gets busy in
Yes,
better ways and stuff, and that the time that you want to spend is with your family rather than on YouTube.
exactly.
So that's
And I haven't
quite
really been purchasing comics and stuff very much, so I don't really have as much unboxing to do. So,
that's fair. That is fair. So last question of the day. I want to know because you're bigger on Marvel, even though I did the DC thing, and I always call you DC Dale.
yep.
Um, what are some of the Marvel projects besides Deadpool 3 that you're most excited for coming with the MCU?
Armor Wars with Don Cheadle and War Machine, and I'm really hoping that maybe we'll see. Maybe Tony Stark will be back, as an AI or something in War Machine's helmet, or Riri Williams, Ironheart. I feel like they could do really well with Ironheart, but you know that's kind of what I'm excited for sure. Um, yeah, Deadpool 3, of course, like you said. Besides that, but um, the other stuff, Fantastic Four, I'm not too excited about that one. I try not to get too excited because I don't want to be let down. So I go into every movie, just wanting some sort of entertainment value from it. So, except I'm not going to go see Madam Web in the theater. I didn't go see the Marvels in the theater either. I just watched that for the first time just the other day. It was okay. I was entertained. Had good points, parts, some bad parts, whatever. Um, but I don't even know what's coming out besides Deadpool 3, honestly, and Armor Wars. I don't know what else is being worked
Uh,
on.
I
I
know.
know a lot of stuff got shelved. Uh, a lot of stuff got shelved because of the whole strike and stuff. But yeah,
I know we're still getting, even though nobody seems to want it, just because it's completely done. I don't think there's a date on it though, but Agatha, the
oh yeah, with
Agatha,
the dark hold and all that.
yeah, Coven of Darkness or something like that.
Mm,
That's supposedly coming out, and then we do have Captain America: Brave New World. I am
yes,
kind of excited for that,
same. Yep. Not yeah. Now that you mention that, I'm excited for that too. Not because you are,
and then
but because I'm a fan of Captain America, and I thought Sam Wilson did a really good job um, in the last Captain America Winter Soldier show. I thought that was a pretty decent show. So
now, what about X-Men '97, which is coming out pretty much next month?
the animated series one,
Yeah,
like anything else, I'll give it a shot, and if it doesn't capture my attention, then it'll get shelved. Honestly, I've seen a
so
lot
you're
of
not.
comments about it, and I'm not too excited
Yeah,
about it.
same here. I know that the voice acting was not on par, but I don't mind the animation. I don't mind the animation, and it looks like it's going to be a fun ride, especially
Hmm.
with that scene with Gambit jumping on Wolverine's back. I thought that was pretty cool.
That
Not
was
gonna
pretty
lie,
cool.
a lot of
Yeah.
there's some people that actually hated that part too, and I'm just like, why? It was so cool. It was a bad. It was a pretty freaking great scene.
I
So
don't
I
think
don't know
it's going to
why.
be better than the original, though.
And that's another thing. A lot of people are not wanting to watch this because they don't want the original to be tainted by this new version.
Yeah.
So
I
I have a friend that worked on some portions of the animation. So I like the animation in that, not because she worked on it, but because of the fact she did a lot of the background work. So
Okay.
uh,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, but I'm excited for it. Hopefully it does well, and it's coming soon. So
Yeah,
I'm excited for that
exactly.
as well. We got like great news with Deadpool 3, and then they were like, you know what? We're just gonna be like, hey, X-Men 97's coming out, and guess what? It's coming out next month. So that was some
Yeah.
great news. Marvel seems to be doing all right for them. I'm not sure if they're gonna do great after Deadpool 3 and that, if they're gonna continue that momentum. But it looks like Ryan Reynolds has a good say in what happens with Deadpool 3.
I would like to hope so, because like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, Tony Stark, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, same.
But
And I'm my plan is to not watch any more trailers of Deadpool 3 and just go into the theater and be completely surprised and sit there like a kid again, you know what I mean?
yeah, I wish it was coming out. I thought it was going to be coming out in June rather than July. I thought it got pushed back to June rather. I know it got pushed back from May to June, but I didn't know it got moved back from June to July. So that
Hmm,
sucked. I seen
yeah.
that date. But hopefully,
As long
hopefully
as it
it
doesn't get
is
pushed
good.
out anymore.
I don't think it will. I think it's completely done, and I don't think they're doing reshoots. So um, shouldn't. If
Good.
it does, I'll be angry. Like
Right.
what?
Because that's really the only big movie that's coming out this year, as far as like a Marvel movie, or I don't even know if DC has anything coming out this year.
DC has Joker too.
Oh, okay. With Joaquin Phoenix as Joker?
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. The one
yeah,
with Lady and yeah, okay.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I forget when that's coming out, but I feel like it's coming out later in the year. I think more towards like after September. I could be wrong
Okay.
though. People in the chat will let me know. But I'm excited for that. Will I see it in theaters? I'm not sure. But the big movie I'm
Probably
excited
for me.
for recently is Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is going to be a
Yes.
great movie.
That's gonna be good. Yeah. Winter is coming. Yeah. That's what it
So we
reminded
did
me of.
hit that hour mark, and I just want to say thank you so much for joining me today, getting to know you a little bit better. And that if you want to get to know him even more, go check out his Instagram, go check out his YouTube. The links are down below. I got one more question for you before we wrap things up. What is one series that you recommend everyone to read?
One series that oh wow. G.I. Joe, Transformers, Void Rivals. That's three.
Yeah,
Older
I
ones
said
die good.
one. Hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Just said one. I'll accept that though. GI
Yeah.
Joe, Transformers. I would say Transformers more. That's just me though. I'm
Yeah.
more along the lines of
Well,
Transformers
they
and
they
GI
they they
Joe.
blend. They blend together.
They do blend, and I'm excited that they are going to blend even more in the cinematic universe.
Yes.
So that's even better. So that is
But
it,
thank you,
guys.
Travis, for having me on. Greatly appreciated. It's always a humbling experience for me to be on somebody else's show because I'm like just a regular guy. But thank you.
Yeah, it's a little different being like, "Hey, I want you to come on my show and talk about you." You're just like,
Yeah.
"What? Me?"
Yeah.
So, but I
Thank
thank
you.
you for coming on and talking a little bit about yourself, getting to know you a little bit more. Like I said, guys, if you want to get to know him even more, go check out his channel and go check out his IG. The links are down below. That being said, guys, hopefully you guys have a great day, evening, night, wherever you are in this world, and hopefully you found what you were looking for on this channel and with Dale of Suspense. That being said, guys, stay freaking nerdy.